federal government announcing plans for Canada to shift away from fossil fuel-powered cars. The government will require all new vehicles to be zero emissions by the year 2030.
What's up, everybody? Christian James here. Today's video, Canada has a car problem. As you guys saw in the video, the woman announced by 2030 the Canadian government wants all of our vehicles to be emissions-free by 2030. Well, this morning I came across a news video from Chicago, which is much more southern than 99% of Canada, describing how cold it was and the problem I had with EV cars. Watch the clip.
Charging stations have turned car graveyards over the past couple days.
Dane Placco reports on the frustration and some tips from an auto expert.
Nothing, no juice, it's still on 0%, and this is like 3 hours this morning being out here, after being out here 8 hours yesterday.
Tyree Beard was among the dozens of Tesla owners trying desperately to power up their cars at this Tesla supercharging station in Oak Brook. A scene mirrored with long lines and abandoned cars at scores of other charging stations around the Chicago area.
Man, this is crazy. It's a disaster. Seriously.
Oh, we got a bunch of dead robots out here.
Dead robots. This is your car?
Yeah.
But it was no laughing matter to people like Kevin Sumrack, who landed at O'Hare last night to find his Tesla dead, forcing him to hire a flatbed tow truck to try to find a working charging station.
So I can get back to Indiana.
But you can't find one that's charging or working?
Either working or doesn't have cars sitting, still plugged in.
All right, now what the hell does that have to do with Canada? Well, Canada is the second largest nation. It's vast. There's a lot of nothingness. We have 40 million people. We're the world's second largest country. In context to Russia, they're larger than us. They have 160 million-ish, or we're above America, and America has 380 to 400 million people, and we have a larger land mass overall than America does. So we have a lot of nothingness here. And the problem is, for EV cars, we have two problems here. There's one, the vast nothingness. If you just take the province of Alberta from Edmonton to Calgary, if I'm not mistaken, it takes 3 hours of pretty much nothingness in between to get from city to city. That's just that one province. If you go from northwestern Ontario all the way to Alberta, that is 3.5 provinces of nothingness. Farmland, small little farming communities, the odd little tourist attraction, and vastly nothing. How the hell are you supposed to get, doesn't matter if it's winter or not, well, doesn't matter if it's winter or not, we'll address that in a minute. How the hell are you supposed to get across from northwestern Ontario to BC without charging stations everywhere? Who wants to be in the middle of a Trans-Canada highway trip that takes days and have to keep stopping for hours to fill up their car? It's not plausible. For our trucks, like I'm sure the large trucks will have to be included in this at some point. To do that, commerce would be destroyed. You can't keep stopping trucks every 3 hours to charge them for 10 hours, every 10 hours to charge them for 10 hours, whatever it ended up being. Think of the amount of batteries you need, the amount of cobalt you need, the amount of slave mining that would happen in Africa to make that amount of vehicles. So, my point in that rant, number one, it's too damn big.
Why did you get it so big?
That's what she said.
For electric vehicles overall. You live in Toronto, you live in Ottawa, you live in Niagara Falls, you live in Montreal, you live in Vancouver, you live in Calgary, you live in Edmonton, you live in Winnipeg, you live in Saskatoon, you live in Halifax, you live in Moncton, you live in the small island provinces. You're probably fine in the summer months for getting around and not having a problem finding a charging station, running out of juice, and being in the middle of nowhere. For the rest of the country, you're screwed. Like, it doesn't make any sense to go emissions free by 2030 as far as the vehicle goes, but then the way you have to charge the vehicle, there's no way we'll have a grid that can support that. There's no plausible way. Like, hell, does anybody remember when California made the announcement that by 2036 or whatever they said all cars have to be electric vehicles? And then 2 or 3 weeks later they said don't charge your vehicle because we don't have the grid to support the cars that are currently on there, and they don't have the ability to increase their grid. They'd have to develop a whole new grid. Well, Canada's have the same problem. We don't have a grid that can support it. You need if you need more electricity, more juice, you need more wires, you need thicker wires, you need updated transformers, you need stronger lines, you need a whole new system. You can't just jam more juice through. Like, for example, if you get your electrical box at your house updated from 120 to 220, whatever it ended up being, they run more lines to your house. You take more juice than other people in the neighborhood. Well, if everybody's charging their car with electricity, you're going to need way more juice. So it's, for one, it's not plausible to do it by 2030. And two, there's no way even the charging stations for the cars would be emissions free. And my second point, if Chicago has problems with the cold in electric cars, what the hell are we going to do? Like, for example, it was minus 19 in the video they said. So when I looked, that was minus 29 roughly Celsius, okay? Yesterday, it was minus 27 where I am with the wind chill. I don't know if what they were including there was the wind chill, but the reason I'm grabbing my phone is I'm going to go to some Canadian cities on here and I'll show you guys. So, if I go to Calgary right now, only minus 10, but it's about to start snowing. Okay, let's see what else. Let's go to Yellowknife. Let's see what Yellowknife is. It's minus 33 Celsius, minus 40 with the wind chill. If it won't charge in minus 30, and by the way, yesterday in Edmonton was minus 33 Celsius, not Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit, that would be well into the negative 40s plus. If it won't charge at minus 30, how the hell is it going to charge at minus 35, minus 40, minus 45? My point is, if they won't start in the cold of Chicago, they won't start in the cold here. It's too vast, it's too cold, it's too soon, it's not going to work, and no matter how much you push a green agenda, it's not greener, it's not better for anybody. Thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me I'm right, tell me I'm wrong. If you want to watch the entire video from both news clips, they're in the bottom. Cheers, I'm out.